Hello children, how are you? Hope all of you are fine and doing very well. Once again, a very warm welcome from my side. And as I told you, in class 12 we are already having two books. One is the main reader and one is a supplementary reader. And in my last video I shared you about the syllabus and everything. So again we are continuing with this our Flamingo, and we will be doing the very first poetry, My Mother at 66. Okay, the very first poetry, My Mother at 66 by Kamala Das. So before I will explain you the theme, or I should read you out the poetry, I would just like to give you a few instructions that you can sit along with your copy and pen also. If you're having book, it's very good. If you're not having book, kindly sit along with your copy and pen so that you can note some of the important points what all I'm going to tell you, and as well as at the last of this I'm going to give you some home assignment as well. Okay, fine children. So we are going to study about My Mother at 66 by Kamala Das. Kamala Das was born in Malabar, Kerala. She is our poetess. Okay, she was born in Malabar, Kerala, and she is one of the great Indian poetess who is known for her originality, versatility, and of indigenous nature. Always her writing are very in terms of originality, versatility, and indigenous flavor. Moreover, she is the writer who has written many of the novels and short stories in English and Malayalam under the name called as Madhvi Kutti. Always our Kamala Das, who is our poetess, her writing revolves, or rather her writing reflects on the complexities of human relationship. Here also, in this particular poem, My Mother at 66, she actually deals the complexity of a human relationship, that is relationship with her mother. So before starting anything, we should read a poem. So just listen carefully. If you're having the book, it's fine, take it out. No, not having, not a problem. I'm reading out to you. Driving from my parents' home to Kochi last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Jaws, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. But soon put the thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. Okay, my dear children, before moving ahead, two important things. Number one, theme. What is the theme of this poem? This poem particularly reflects upon the fear of separation. Fear, the poetess is having fear of separation. From whom? She is having fear of separation from her mother. Got my point? Poetess, in this particular, the centralized idea, or rather the theme of this poem is fear of separation, and that is fear of separation from her mother in two different stages of life. What are the two different stages? Number one, in childhood, and number two, when she is grown up. So number one is childhood, and number 2 is when she's grown up. So here our poetess has a fear of separation from her mother, number 1 when she was a child, and now when she is grown up. Now second important thing you should note down is, what is the rhyming scheme of the poem? Can you guess in the rhyming scheme of the poem? If you're having book, you can do it very nicely. My dear children, there is no rhyme scheme in this poem. So all those poems which do not have any rhyme scheme is called as free verse poem. Okay, I repeat, you already know this thing. It's not new to you. All those poems which do not have a rhyme scheme is called as free verse poem. Okay, so moving ahead with our poem, I start once again. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday. The poem starts where poetess narrates that the incident is they are moving in a vehicle. It is the day somewhat last Friday. Friday is the day, and she is heading, or rather approaching towards airport. From her parents' home she is going to airport. Okay, and what's there? I saw my mother beside me. It's Friday morning. She is going from her parents' home to airport, and they were traveling in a vehicle, and her mother was just sitting beside her, and she watched her mother. Remember, just focus on this point because majority of the question comes from here. There is 2 types of description of mother, and this is a very common question in board examination. How the poetess has described her mother. So what she is seeing her mother? See, beside me, jaws, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse. So here our poetess is actually giving 3 different descriptions. The very first description of the mother, she will be describing her mother 2 times here in the poem. So the first description is, she is describing it like a dog. Second, she is telling it ashen, and third, she is telling it as corpse. Now you get my point? Dog means sleeping. Her mother is sleeping, and how she is sleeping, can you get? She is sleeping open mouth. By opening the mouth, her mother, who is just sitting beside her in the car, or rather in a vehicle in which they are moving towards the airport, she saw her mother, and she is describing in a very harsh word, rather shocking words. Toss means sleeping, ashen, pale, and the more striking or rather shocking word is corpse. That is a dead body. She is describing her mother as a dead body. Means she visualizes her and she assumes, oh my God, my mother, who is aged at 66, her mother is 66 years old, means our poetess is grown up, very much in mature age, and she is visualizing her mother at the age of 66. Oh my God, she is looking like a dead body. Can you imagine if you people visualize your mother like this, what a feeling you will approach? If for a moment we just keep our eyes closed, and if we think this thing for our own mother, what feelings will arise in our mind? It's very shocking state. We just don't want to visualize it also. We just want to give up that idea. Isn't it like that? Same. She was really shocked. by seeing the status of her mother. She was just looking like a dead body, means that much old she has become, that much physical illness has bounded her mother, or that much her age. She has become pale and she's sleeping like a dead body. She was really grieved in her heart. Oh my God, what has happened with my mama? And one more thing you can note in your copy, that is her face ashen like that of a corpse. Which literary device is used? Very correct. It is simile. Her face ashen like that of her corpse, where like and as are used then for comparison, then it is a simile. So she was really shocked. See, she was grieved that, oh my God, my mama was sleeping looking like a dead body. That was a stark terror that surrounded her. She does not want, just I told you a small example, you actually visualize your mother in that particular state just by closing your eyes. You just want to open your eyes, you don't want to imagine also. Same way was her. Now, that she was as old as she looked. She was really old as she was. She was looking of that particular age. But soon put that thought away. So our poetess was very, very disheartened, and she just want to give up that idea. She does not want to accept that mama has grown so old and mama is appearing like a dead body. So just want to divert her mind, just to shift her mind from that pain and agony. Our poetess started looking outside the window. Okay? Our poetess started looking outside the window to divert her mind from that pain and agony which really has surrounded her with a lot of grief. So what's written over there? Looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Now here is two images have been used. Okay, my dear children, what are those images? Can you guess? And what does this mean? Just to shift her mind or divert her mind after looking at her mother's face, she actually saw what she saw. There are two images mentioned in the poem. Number one is trees sprinting. Okay, and second one is merry children spilling out of their homes. Now these two images, imagery are those words which are actually used by the writer, which gives the reader a reflect or rather imagination capability. So, and also they are symbolic of something. They symbolize something. Now here trees sprinting. Trees, young trees sprinting is the representation of youthful life. Full of continuity. Okay? Nature's continuity. And this image is just opposite to the image of her mother. Trees are the symbol of youthful life or full of continuity, life full of continuity, or nature is always perennial. But here it has been mentioned as trees sprinting. Now what is sprinting? Sprinting is a short race. As we move in a fast moving vehicle, if you move in a car, it's moving in a faster pace. What do you see if you start looking outside? You will find that the things are just going very fast, in a very fast pace behind you. Same our poetess actually felt while she was moving ahead in a vehicle, that the trees beside her or outside the vehicle or a car are moving at a very faster pace. Means the young age of the mother has passed away and she is now at the old age. The trees are the representation of young age. Just contrast to the condition what she actually visualized her mother as dull, ashen, and like a corpse. The second image, which is again a contradictory of that particular thing, what she visualized on her mother, is merry children spilling out of their house. Spilling means outflow, and children are always referred as a symbol of energy, full of life, enthusiasm, exuberance. Okay, so these two images are direct contrast images when the poetess has seen her mother's face dull, ashen, like that of corpse, to just shift her mind from that pain and agony feeling. She started looking outside and she finds there these two things: trees sprinting and merry children spilling out of their home, which is a direct contrast to the one mentioned, or rather the description of her mother. Okay, my dear children, now moving ahead with the poem. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards. Now, they were at the airport, and you all know, airport, like in railway station, in buses, we just try to see off our near and dear ones. It's not like that. It's not like that in airport. The one who is a passenger, only he can enter the airport. He or she can enter the airport. And there is a security check. So Amma means the poetess mother stood outside the airport, few yards, and her poetess went inside the airport because she was now going away from her mother. And what's written? But after the airport security check, standing few yards away, now she was standing few yards away from her mother. I looked again at her. She just looked again at her. Understood? She was standing few yards away from her mother. And what she finds? Again, there is the second time description of her mother. I looked again at her, wan, pale as late winter's moon. Okay? So, there is another description of mother. Second time she is describing her mother. See, it's very, very important. This question usually comes in the examination. How Kamala Das describes her mother. So these words like jaws, ashen, corpse, wan, pale. Okay, then pale and late as late winter's moon. You should be able to actually write these particular words, then only you are going to score mark. Okay, number one. Now this is the second description of her mother. Now, that is then pale, and third as a late winter's moon. Okay, these are the words she used to describe her mother second time. Number one is wan, that is colorless, pale, again faded, loss of energy, dull as a late winter's moon. Now here her mother compares her, the poetess compares her mother's face as a late winter's moon. In winter, usually it's very difficult to see the moon. If somehow it's faded, but late winter's moon is that particular moon which is actually dull, which is actually hazy, which is actually obscure, which has actually lost his shine and radiance. So here the comparison of the poetess as of her mother's face with a late winter's moon is very apt, or rather appropriate, because her mother at the age of 66, she describes her mother 2 times in the short poem. Number 1, when she describes when she was sitting beside her in the car or vehicle, she describes her as what? Do you remember? She describes her as doll, ashen, like a corpse or like a dead body. Now, when she actually is standing few yards away, again she is describing her mother as one pale as a late winter's moon. Again, one is colorless, pale is dull, faded, and as a late winter's moon, her mother's face as a late winter's moon, like late winter moon have lost its radiance and shine. It has become dull, hazy, obscure, and the same way her mother has lost her shine and radiance or energy, what she was having in her youthful life or in her youth days. And that's why the comparison is appropriate and apt. Okay, or rather this question always come, explain the late winter's moon, or why the poetess compared her mother with late winter's moon. Now, second thing, the number 1 I told you to write literary device. Number 1 was simile. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. Like was used. Number 1 simile was there. Here number 2 simile is there. I hope you are going to make it out. As a late winter's moon. As is used in simile, as and like are used to compare the two things. So as late winter's moon is also a simile. Okay, my dear children. Now what happens? And felt that old familiar ache. Do you remember I actually explained you the theme of the poem in the very starting? And what was the theme, do you remember? Fear of separation. Poetess has a fear of separation from her mother in 2 different stages of her life. Number 1 in childhood, and number 2 when she's grown up. Now that particular thing is arising here. Familiar ache. She actually recalls the same pain, that is losing her mother, or fear of getting separating from her mother, which she had in her childhood. It's not recalling why she is recalling that same fear, or why it is revived in her mind, that same fear of just separating from her mother. She's going away from her, she's in the airport, like that is the thing? No, my dear, because her mother is at the age of 66. Her mother is looking like a dead body. She is comparing her mother's face with as a late winter's moon. She realized that maybe Mama is not going to live anymore. Maybe her end is very close. Maybe she is not so physically fit. Her body may not be coping up to survive in the near future. So that fear which she had in her childhood of losing her mother, after seeing this condition at the age of 66, that similar or that familiar ache, same pain arise in her mind. Got my point? My childhood's fear, I cleared it to you. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. But she gathered all her emotions. She actually hid her emotions from her mother. And she actually just hid her emotions, and she made herself very courageous, or rather brave. And what she said to her ma? See you soon, Amma. And all I did was smile, smile, and smile. My dear children, the poem ends here, but the meaning is 3 different ways. Number 1, smile, smile, smile is definitely repetition and alliteration both. But there are 3 different meanings of smile over here in the last line. Got my point? There are 3 different meanings of 3 smile mentioned by the poet over here. And what are those? Number 1, smile. 3 times she has written smile, smile, and smile. Now I'm going to explain you this thing. Okay? The number 1, smile. The meaning of number 1, smile is she smile. Actually 3 times the poetess has used this word smile, smile, and smile. Okay? The number 1 is for realization. Realization. Realization means she realized that her mother is now have attained the age of old age, or her mother is rather in old age at the age of 66, and all those years have gone, or rather she was having earlier also a sufficient time to spend along with her, and now also she is not having a sufficient time. She is not having sufficient time to spend along with her. When she realized that her mother is just looking like a dead body, or her mother's end is approaching, she does not have she does not have a sufficient time to spend along with her. That is a fact she realized. Okay, so number 1, smile meaning is realization factor, which the poetess realized that her mother has grown so old that her end is approaching very near, and she has very less time to spend with her. And earlier also she has no time, she was not having any time to spend along with her, or rather she actually not spend as much as time she wants to be with her mother. Second smile was for a brave front. The meaning of the second smile is she hid all her emotions from her mother. Otherwise, she knows that pain is going to transfer to her mother also, and that is also going to demoralize her. So she hid her emotions and she say, "See you soon, Amma." That is on a brave front. Got my point? She was brave at that point. And the third smile means hope. Poetess hope that in the near future she will meet her mother. Though there was a realization factor that her mother has grown so old, or rather her mother is at the age of 66, and at the age of 66 she was looking like a dead body. She was just appearing, her face was appearing like late winter's moon, means that much physical deterioration has came at the age of 66. That realization was there, but hiding all the emotions, what she hoped, the third smile means she was hopeful that in the near future she will see her mother alive. On this note, the poet ends the poem. Okay? On this note, our poet ends the poem, because after the realization factor, she cannot do anything. So she smiled and say, "See you soon, Amma." So this was a poem, My Mother at 66. Some of the key points which you have noted is the theme of the poem. Number 1, fear of separation. Fear of separation of the poetess from her mother in 2 different stages of her life. Number 1, in childhood. Number 2, when she has grown up. Okay? And second thing, I discussed you about the rhyming scheme. There is no rhyming scheme in the poem. It is a free verse poem. Number 3, I told you, we discussed about the literary skills or literary devices. There is one literary devices. There are many. The number 1 which you noted down was simile. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. And second one was as late winter's moon. Okay, these are 2 devices. These are 2 examples of simile. Another literary devices is repetition, simile, smile, and smile, and alliteration also. Smile, smile and smile. Then we have two images in this poem. Number one you can note down is young tree sprinting, or tree sprinting is the symbol or image, and number two is what? Merry children spilling out of their home. So these are the two images, and what are they symbolic of? They were just in direct contrast to the condition of the mother, what she described, the first description of her mother. And just to shift or divert her agony, she actually looked outside the window of the vehicle and she actually described it. Okay, my dear children, so here we complete our poem, My Mother at 66. But before leaving, just note down few questions. Okay, that is your home assignment. Kindly note down your two questions. The number one question, I hope I already told you to sit along with your pen and paper. Number one, what was Kamla Das' fear as a child? What was Kamla Das' fear as a child? Okay, continuing in this question, why do the fears surface? Why do the fears surface when she is going to the airport? Why do the fears surface when she is going to the airport? This is the number one question. Now, number two question, what different images does the poet use? What different images does the poet use to convey the idea of her mother's old age? Okay, what different images does the poet use to convey the idea of her mother's old age? Okay, and the third and the very last question, what does trees sprinting and merry children signify? What does trees sprinting and merry children signify? Okay, so I hope children you enjoyed this class, My Mother at 66 by Kamla Das, and we actually complete our lesson over here. So before I take a leave, I would urge you to stay at your home, stay safe, until we meet in our next video. For then, bye bye.